Hello, welcome back. This is Tammy Myra and my boys Jara and Roman. And Jara's going to be our cameraman today, and Roman is going to be our demonstrator. For today's project, you will need Q-tips, a rubber band, a bath sponge, some paintbrushes, just a few, and some paints. The tree that I'm doing is going to be pink, so I have shades of pink, but of course if you don't like that, you can change up your color and do whatever you want. I have a white canvas, but I want the background to be black. You can also buy a black canvas if you want. So I am covering my canvas with black gesso. Let's get started. So we are going to start with the basis of the cherry blossom tree. And Roman, I have drawn out a sample of kind of how it would look. You don't want to be too exact right now on this because you're going to go in later and fill in your details. But we're going to take Barn Red as our base color. I'm going to build the basis of the tree. Very rough. And we're using an 8x10 canvas, but of course if you want to go bigger, you can.
Just to weave it quicker than him.
I've had a little bit more practice. So, to my students who are following along, if you don't have a canvas at home that you can paint on, if you have some heavy paper, or if you have a sketchbook with heavy paper in it, you can use that paper to paint with. If you want to get a smaller brush to do some smaller branches, you can. It's not really necessary at this time because what's going to happen is after we finish our other steps, we will go in and we will add details with our smaller brush. So this is really all you need at this moment. For this next part, you are going to need your bath poof. We're going to be using bright magenta and candy pink. Those are just the colors that I chose because that's what I had on hand. You, of course, can do whatever colors on your tree that you want. You're going to pour some onto either a paper plate. I've got a piece of foil here, so it's easy cleanup. All we have to do is throw it in the trash. But you're going to start with your darker color first and your bath poof. You're going to dip it in your paint, just a little like that. And you're just going to dab it around the tree. You can put some along the bottom, like the blossoms are falling off onto the ground.
I like this so far. It's actually pretty cool. No.
After you've got your dark pink, you're going to dip it in your lighter pink and do the same thing. Just until you get it kind of the way that you want it to look. And everyone's will be different. That's what I tell y'all in class all the time.
For the high schoolers. That's a big tree.
All right, then
I like yours, Roman.
you should have a little bundle of Q-tips. I have rubber banded them together already. I've got about 10 here. You really don't need more than that. You can use both ends. We're gonna start with one end dipped in the white. Now, what we wanna do is create these little areas where it looks like the edges of the leaves are curving over the branches. So you'll just dab your areas of white.
What was that for?
You can also put some little white across the bottom here to make it look like it's the little petals have fallen down. And I like to run things off the edges of my canvas just because I think that the edge is as important as the sides. You don't want a bare canvas on the side there when you're looking at it. Ooh, I like that. That looks cool. It looks like a weeping willow. Okay, so the next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take a small paintbrush, and probably one like this will work fine. You're going to load up your color, your base color that you used originally for your tree. So I'm getting a little bit of this barn red, and I'm just gonna run it along the edge of the tree trunk here to make it a little heavy on both sides, because we're gonna add some other colors to blend with that for shading. Then we'll worry about these branches that are up in the tree in just a minute. All right, so give that brush a little rinse, and then dip it in your white, and you'll just blend it in to that paint that you just put on there. So it kind of lightens it up, gives a little bit of a shadowing effect or highlight on this side. And then we're gonna come in a minute on the other side with a darker color to make that shadow. So the darker color that I have here is called Melted Chocolate. Again, whatever you have on hand will work as long as it's a little bit darker. You're gonna get a little bit of that darker paint, come in on this side and blend it with that red brick that you put down first, and then kind of blend it over into that white so it's not like a straight line. You wanna kind of smear them together a little bit.
Wow. Those are freaking amazing.
And when you go in to add your branches within the tree, I want you to think about the fact that when you look at a tree, you don't see every little branch. You see leaves covering branches. So I don't want you to go in and draw long lines of branches throughout your tree, because that's not realistic. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna load my paintbrush with a little bit of the red brick and a little bit of the brown at the same time. And I'm just gonna come in and I'm gonna kind of skip around. And I'm gonna do little short areas where the branches are visible. But I don't want to, like I said, have a straight line all the way through it, because that really wouldn't be realistic. And the reason that I am dipping it in both of these colors is because when you swipe with your brush and you have the two colors loaded on your brush at the same time, you get that varying effect of the branch color as you go throughout. So you're going to use that guide that you started with before for your branches, and you're just going to add to it a little bit here and there to make it look like those branches are coming out within the petals of the tree. And if you want to add more at this point, that's okay. It's really a matter of taste on how much you want to see. And the cool thing about painting is that, you know, there's not really any mistakes. If you get something that you don't like, go over it. Sometimes the coolest things are things that started out as a mistake.
That's freaking good, Roman. Honestly, I kind of like Roman's more than yours, Mom.
Wow. So I accidentally ran across the pink here. And so I just want to show you how you would go about fixing that. So I didn't like all the pink in the color there. So I'm just adding a little bit more here to it.
Focus, dang camera.
To get it back to the way that I want it to be.
Hiccups, dang it.
And then I'm just gonna go back with my white and touch up some areas that I kind of want to add to a little bit. If you don't have these colors at home, but you have fall colors, you could always do like a fall tree where the leaves have changed and they're falling off. You could do reds and oranges and yellows, or you could do a spring tree that's bright greens.
Greens?
Yeah, different shades of green. I just happen to be a fan of pink, you know, so therefore,
I wonder why.
therefore I have lots of pink at the house.
I wonder why.
Okay.
Maybe because the long hair. Little girl.
All right, so this is finished at this time. If you want to go in and add like some people under the tree, you could do that. But really, I think it looks cool as it is. Roman, yours turned out amazing. I love it.
I like yours better, Roman. It's a lot better than Mom's, honestly.
Thanks, Jira.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome.
We hope you enjoyed this and take a chance at home and try it out. Post your pictures below so we can see what they look like when you get done with them. To my students, hopefully you will have some supplies at home and you can try this at home. And you can turn it into the Google Classroom. And I miss y'all and hope to see you soon. If you like this, like and subscribe. And as soon as we make some new videos, you'll get notifications about them. Have a great day.